And everyone, welcome back to another podcast, Inside Polling. It's awesome to have you. We made it. We made it. Only one day to go. Tomorrow's the day, and it's your day. That's what's so great about it. You get to decide who wins and who loses. The people get to decide. No more noise. No more CNN, one-sided, MSNBC, one-sided, Fox, one-sided. You got 90% of the press leaning Democrat, all one-sided, flooding the market. I mean, forget about the one-sided. This is about you. You get to decide. You get to think about your decision and make the vote. 80 million people have early voted. 80 million. Both sides, both camps have made mistakes. Republicans have known for 8 years the women vote have been a problem. They have done nothing about it. Nothing. They have left it hanging. This is not breaking news, by the way. This has been known. I know I have a problem, but I'm not going to fix it. Harris, Democrat Party, know they have a problem on the border. Oh, I'll try to fix it in the last year of campaign year. We'll cover it up. I've got a problem with black voters kind of leaving the last 8 years. Are we going to do anything about it? No. Hispanic voters, they're leaving for the past 8 years. Are we going to do anything about it? No. Middle-class white workers, blue-collar workers, are we going to do anything about it? Oh, they can't be leaving us. They're not going to leave us. Oh, yes, they are. Mistakes on both sides. Did either party fix their problems? You and I could have sat there and write on a piece of paper what each one of the problems were 4 years ago, 8 years ago, and this year going into the campaign. Did either party fix the issue? No. You've got a Trump issue, right? Personal issue. People don't like him. I get it. You know, who likes the guy? Doesn't matter which side you're on, right? It's a problem. It's an some people just don't even like Harris, but it's an anti-Trump vote. How many people are voting for Trump tomorrow or early voted that just don't like Harris so much that it doesn't matter who my candidate? No, it doesn't go that way. Democrats are really locked in. And that's why they vote more than Republicans. And that's why they win these elections. In 22, it just happened. So let's talk about where they are today, because that says something. I got on here, was it 2-3 days ago, and said it's all about Pennsylvania. Do you know where Harris is today? All day long. The only state she's going to, Pennsylvania. So you don't think they know? They're the smart ones, right? They know their campaign, where their weakness is, where they're hitting. She's not in Michigan. She's not in Wisconsin. She's not in Georgia. She's not in Nevada. She's not out in Arizona. She's in Pennsylvania all day long, up and down the whole place. Trump is moving around a little differently. He started in North Carolina today at 10 a.m. with a rally. He's going to Pennsylvania and two stops in Pennsylvania, and then going up to Michigan, where he likes to end the race, and that will be he'll walk on stage probably at 2 a.m. He'll walk on stage at 2 a.m, guaranteed. So let's get to the polls. I do have a decent amount of polls today, and I'm going to run you through these. Nothing breaking. I do have one breaking poll in the Senate, which is really interesting, but it's something I discussed with you, I think, on our second show I was back on with you. What was it, maybe a month ago or 3 weeks ago? Let's get going here. The Hill, Emerson, you're going to hear me say that a lot, so I'm not even going to mention the pollster. These are all Hill and Emerson's coming up. Pennsylvania had Trump +1. It's Trump +1. Same. Michigan, this was from about 3 weeks ago. It was a tie. Now has Harris +2, right? We're starting to see some weak spots for Trump in Michigan and Wisconsin. That's why I think it's all about Pennsylvania. Harris +2 in a movement of 2 in Michigan. Ohio, I'm just mentioning it. Trump +12. It was a Trump +10. It's not a battleground anymore. Wisconsin, tie to a tie, so the same. North Carolina, Trump +1. It's still Trump +1. I've got an East Carolina poll in North Carolina. It was Trump +2. It's still Trump +2. There's no movement here except that one poll in Michigan. I go back to the Hill and Emerson, both combined. Georgia, Trump +1, same, no movement. East Carolina and Georgia. It was a Trump +3, now showing a Trump +1. Trump loses 2 points in these polls in Georgia, but still holds on to a 1-point lead. Arizona, the Hill, Trump +2 to Trump +2. Same, no movement. Nevada had a Harris +1, now down to a tie. Trump gains 1. That's his first one he's gained on. And nationally, I have a NPR PBS / Marist poll altogether. Was a Harris 2, is now a Harris 4. This goes on what we've been saying, a little uptick here for Harris as we move to the final week, and it shows again today. We had maybe 2 or 3 polls for Harris on an uptick and 1 poll for Trump. That relates to what we've been talking about, how this last second breaking is heading Harris's way. Will it matter? Will it be the difference? It could be. Let's discuss real quickly. I have just 2 polls I want to show you on the Senate race. Everything else is pretty much the same. McCormick and Casey in Pennsylvania. Remember, a Democratic seat, trying to hold the Democrat. Casey's the Democrat there, was up by 1 in the last poll. This is by the Hill. It's now a tie. You would think Trump would probably have to win Pennsylvania by a number he's never done before, maybe by 1.5 to 2 to get this over, to get McCormick over there as the Republican. But we'll see. Shows a tie on that race. Here's the break that I wanted to tell you about. I predicted it. I thought it was going to happen. And remember, just a review on the Senate. Republicans need 2 races. 1, West Virginia is going to happen. You would assume Montana's going to happen. Number 3, I told you to watch Ohio. Ohio at the time was like 5 points. I said, I feel squirrely about Ohio. I think this Ohio polling generally is off. Here we go. Marino in Ohio is now taken over the average lead in that race against Senator Brown. Going for a 4th term in Ohio. Marino, the Republican. Remember, we just read you. That's the reason why I read you that Trump number. Trump in Ohio up by, was it 10? 12, excuse me. Trump up by 12 in Ohio. Remember, this was a battleground state just 8 years ago. Think about how much Ohio has changed. Think about how much Florida has changed. And here's a Senate race right here. Marino could sneak in on Trump's coattails in Ohio and take out a 3-time senator, Democrat. That would be 3, let alone some of the other ones that are somewhat tight. Okay, but nothing is under. Wisconsin is probably the shakiest. Everything other than that is 2.5 or higher. It'd be a surprise if any other state other than Wisconsin, Republicans could make a run at. Let me show you real quick. Let me jump on here and get you. This is all I want to show you on this chart. If you can see it. Matter of fact, I'll take myself out of here. All right. So this is where it was 4 years ago with 1 day to go. In 2016, Clinton had a 3-point lead. Nationally, Biden had about a 7-point lead. And it turned out to be about 4. Clinton won by about 2.5. Okay? So you can see we're tied now. So this is the hope. If you're a Republican, this is the hope right here. This is one of the last hopes that, the polls were wrong. It's going to go Trump's way again. If this thing clicks Harris's way, this is going to be a blowout. Wisconsin, you'll see Biden and Clinton both had 6-point leads. Trump won in 2016. Biden won in 2020. Pennsylvania, Biden had a 2.5-point lead. Clinton had a 2-point lead. Right? This was again, Pennsylvania won by Trump in 2016. So he overcame that 2-point polling error. And Biden just barely won. There's about, again, another 2-point error in Pennsylvania in 2016 and 2020. If it's 2 points towards Trump, it is a blowout. If not, it's the other way. Ohio only had Trump up by 2.2 in 2016 and 1 in 2020 on the averages. Now we're looking at 7. Trump's going to win big in Ohio. Michigan, but just shows you how off the polls were even in 20. So this is what we discussed yesterday. The polling companies are scared out of their mind of blowing this again. Arizona, it goes on and on. Biden with a 0.9, that was actually a good number out in Arizona. That's about what he won by. Trump had a 4-point lead, 1 in 16. So that's actually a good poll. Trump's up by 2.5 there in Arizona. Nevada, Biden up by 3 in 20. In 16, Trump was up by about 1. Trump lost both elections, polling off a little bit there in both of them. North Carolina showed Trump both leading. He won in North Carolina. Georgia showed both, well, a 0.2 lead in 20, and he lost. So just wanted to run you those through. This is what the Republicans are hoping for as you move closer, because are the polls wrong again? There's some people, as we discussed yesterday, that think Harris may be underscored, and then there's some other people that think Trump may be underscored. We're going to find out. That's what it's going to be. That is going to be it. Let's run through the averages as we wrap up. This is the final day of. I'll probably be back tomorrow, guys, and try to get a morning one on any polls, any movement, just to show you. Pennsylvania, though, 0.3. North Carolina, 1.5. These are all for Trump. Georgia, 1.7. Arizona, 2.5. So the really tight one right there is Trump. In Pennsylvania, 0.3. We go to Wisconsin, Harris, 0.4. So Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan now is a 1.2 for Harris, solidifying Michigan. Nevada, Trump, 1-point lead there. So we have Michigan and Wisconsin moving to Harris here, breaking late, and Pennsylvania hanging here in the balance, 0.3 lead. Let me share my screen with you guys. I'm going to do a little quick early voting with you. Okay. So I just want to run you through. These are early voting numbers. Just going to take a few. All right. So let's go to, let's do it by gender. Okay. Because that's the number one issue out there. Nevada, 44% women, 44% men have early voted. For Republicans, this is an excellent number. Excellent number. This is not what we're seeing. If you look up top, you see this right here. If you guys can see it, 53% of women have voted nationally, 44% men. Now remember, this was the 10% before. It's down to 9 now. Now, this will change a little bit, but women will always vote for more. But it's 53-44 for women nationally. In Arizona, it's showing it as a tie. Okay? So, I'm sorry, Nevada. My mistake. Nevada, 48% women, 43% men. That's not bad, 5%. You got a 9% national gap. You've only got a 5% gap in Arizona. Let's go to Georgia. Look at the disparity here. 56% of women early voted in Georgia, 44% men. This is 12%. You can see where the problems could be for Trump. Georgia, right there. Not as much out west with Nevada and Arizona, but look at Georgia. It's a problem. 12% disparity. It's even bigger than the 9% nationally. That's a problem. North Carolina, another 11% gain for women in North Carolina, 55-44. Bigger than the national number. Let's go to Michigan, about 10%. That's about the same, 55-45. Let's go to Wisconsin. 7% difference. All right, so tight. Trump doing better early voting with men in Wisconsin. Isn't that an interesting signal right there? 7% in Wisconsin. Is that going to be a sneaky one for Trump right there? Let's go to Pennsylvania. This number is outrageous. 56% women, 43% men. 13% difference between women and men in Pennsylvania early voting. Let's go to party registration real quick. Nevada, 38% more Republicans than Democrats. Huge number for Republicans. Arizona, 42% more Republicans than Democrats. And this is what I was discussing the other day. Remember, the Democrats have asked for early voting. It's democracy. You should have everybody vote. Great. But is this going to be the new Republican way? The new Republican wave going to be early? Now you've opened it up. Republicans have finally changed the way they vote. 42% voted in Republican in Arizona, 33% Democrats. Democrats have a lot more work to do for day of. Georgia, 48% Republicans, 45% Democrats. You would think this would lay well for Republicans here, but the women's situation in Georgia did not. Michigan, we have 46% Democrats, 43% Republicans. Michigan, again, doing well. Republican voting well there. Let's go to Pennsylvania. 57% Democrat, 33% Republicans. Now, the state, I'm sure the countrywide average, 41% Democrats, 39% Republicans, and 20% are the ones, independents or unaffiliated, have voted. 41 to 39. It's only a 2% difference. Do you think the Democrats are slightly scared of saying, hey, you guys keep holding back the early voting, keep holding the early back? Well, look, Republicans say, okay, fine, we'll take it. We'll take you on. Only 2% down from Democrats nationally. Look at Pennsylvania, 57% Dem, 33% Republican. That's a what? 24% difference. A 24% difference, Republicans to Democrats there. Now, we talked about the other day, there was 1 million more Democrat votes last time, and it turns out it's going to be like 410, 420 this time. More Democrats than Republicans voted early voting. So, but there, wanted to show you that. I think that is a huge chance, huge opportunity as we see some of the weak spots and strength spots as we evaluate the early voting. Let's go quickly look at, let's see if I've got a map here. I don't think I have one for you. Remember, 270 to win. Harris holds on to the 3 states. Just close your eyes. Forget about Georgia. Forget about North Carolina. Forget about Nevada. Forget about Georgia. All you got to be thinking about is Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. If whatever place you tune into, let's say it's CNN, and you listen to John King on the map, and you start to hear him say, these are similar numbers in Wisconsin that we had in 2020, Trump's going to lose. If you hear these numbers are similar to what happened in 16, it's going to be a nail biter. If you hear Trump is getting votes over 16, he's going to win. In my mind, you should be able to know quickly who's going to know. Now, we know certain states are going to be tight. But if Trump is overperforming 20, this is all you got to listen to. Whoever's on that map of whatever channel you listen to. Is he overperforming or underperforming? As soon as you hear it start, oh, this town in Pennsylvania, right? Allentown in Pennsylvania. Oh, these are the exact same numbers about that we saw coming out of 20. Trump's done. Oh, Trump is overperforming in Allentown. You hear that 3-4 times on either side, you got your winner right there. Just remember that. Let's go to, I'm going to take you to, yeah, we'll do this right here. We'll do the cross tabs. Okay. So I'm going to take you through this New York Times poll. I know this is crazy. There's 1 million numbers on your screen right now. If you're looking at it, even on your TV. I'm just going to read these to you. All right. So this is the New York Times poll in Pennsylvania where they had it even. Now, people can attack any poll. You use more Democrats. You use more Republicans. Remember, Pennsylvania used to have about 900,000 more Democrats. Now it has like 400,000. Okay. 340,000 to be exact. So this poll, yes, you can analyze it and say that they had somewhat equal Republicans to Democrats in this poll. You generally wouldn't. You'd like to have a little bit more Democrats polled, but let's get to the data. This was an even poll. So that's why I wanted to give it to you. The question is simple. Thinking ahead to the presidential general, remember they call people, this is on the cell, this is in person, however they end up doing it. Thinking ahead to the presidential general election, are you almost certain you will vote? That's the first question. If you are going to, okay, includes leaners. If you're going to, who would you vote for? This was a 48 tie. 3% said don't know, 3% refused, and 0.5 was for another third-party candidate. 48 tie. Men were 43 for Kamala, for Harris, 53 women. 10% difference. For Trump, it was a 53, right? Basically the same. 53, it just reversed the other way. 18-year-olds, Harris wins 50-45. It's a little tighter than I would have thought, right? 50-45 for Harris. 5% said refused. 30-44, 51-44 for Trump. 45-64 is pretty much split. 47 Harris, 49 Trump. 65 and over, broke for Harris, 49-47. So you've got the young vote, pretty tight, 5% for Harris. The 30-44s, what's that, a 4-point gain for Trump? A 2-point gain for 45-64 for Trump. The older voter, which Trump is relying on, breaks to Harris, and that's the difference. 49-47, keeps her in the race. Keeps her in the race. Black voters are 80% for Harris, 16% for Trump. Whites, 53 for Trump, 44 for Harris. That's a 9-point gain. Okay? It breaks similarly if you have a BA and plus, a college education. We know which way that goes. Those are reversed. Totally. Let's go to party ID all the way over to the right. The last part I wanted to show you. 92% of Democrats are voting for Harris. 92% are voting for Trump. 7% are each voting for the opposite party. Independents broke for Harris 50-43. All right. So big break for Harris there. So, this is the last one I wanted to show you. In 2020, who did you vote for? 5% of the people, well, we had a lot of people who said they did not vote, which is fascinating. We have the people that are supporting Trump, 7% voted for Biden. This is the 2000 vote. 94% of the people voted for Trump, 7% voted for Biden. 91% of the people that voted for Biden, only on the Democrat side, is 5%. So basically, the people who are voting for Harris, 91% voted for Biden last time. And the people voting for Trump, 94% of them voted for Trump. So with that, I think we got a good idea and a good handle on. Let me just go through the averages real quick with you. Right? We did that. We went through the averages on that. We went through the average on the Senate, the big Marino out in Ohio with that Senate race. So this is going to finalize today's. Now, we'll be on tomorrow. I did 2 shows last time, which are easy to throw podcasts on, getting them up on YouTube. But I'll try to pump out 1, if not 2, tomorrow. If there's anything breaking, we were loaded with polls on the final day. We'll see if we are. If not, I'll still come with you. We'll review where we are, what the averages are, and what we can expect. All right, guys, we'll go through the map tomorrow just to show you some of those last second scenarios. And how about nobody talking about the House seats? Nobody. Have you heard anybody talk about the House seats? We have, just so everybody knows, we have the whole Congress in the House up for reelection. We only have a very small portion of senators, which matters a lot, but the whole crew of House seats up. So, guys, with that, I'll be back with you tomorrow. Enjoy your night. Settle down. We're getting to the end. It's all here. Guys, make sure you vote tomorrow. I love you. Keep watching, and don't forget to vote. See you guys.